Well, as I said, I had contacted another organisation to do with Masonic things, but the Egyptian bit was the bit that I was typing it in when it came up, and I saw that something was Egyptian plus Masonic, and that I realised that all of these things do go back, you know, so far in time.
I would say that every role that is in the order has a great amount of esoteric involvement.
So when I joined, when I came in to visit, as I said, with 15 years experience in Freemasonry in many different orders and obediences, I've noticed straight away what I was looking for, and I noticed what it was here that wasn't elsewhere. And that's why I decided to join.
And it really intrigued me, some of the things that you were saying. So I thought, I've got to come along and see. So I came along to one of the meetings, really, really liked it. And then on the spot, I decided and said, you know, this is for me. I want to join.
In the heart of central London, something ancient and mysterious has awakened. In the midst of the energy and turbulence of the metropolis, in shadowed and secret places, people are seeking the keys to arcane mysteries, primeval myths, and unseen worlds. From the shifting sands of Egypt to the contemporary culture of our modern city, the mysteries of Kemet are awakening. In the Egyptian Masonic Order of the United Kingdom, where Freemasonry, Hermetic science, and Egyptian magic combine, the hidden gateway has been revealed. People of every gender, ethnicity, and background are coming together in the Lodge of Old Egypt, seeking initiation into the living current of Egyptian Masonry.
The thing that is missing is something deep, and this is about the spirituality that we as a human beings need to experience. I think that's the key aspects that actually attract me to this order. I'm really enjoying it.
So I've always been interested in something different and bigger that's from my personal life. And so I've always been interested in spiritual matters. So, and then I moved to a specific, like, EMO, specifically because it's an Egyptian lodge and because it follows ancient traditions, which includes the Egyptian mythology as well.
The EMO UK is an organisation of liberal and esoteric Masons practising the Egyptian rites of Memphis and Mizraim. Although private and secretive about their rituals and practices, Cubicstone TV was able to gain access to their hidden world and speak to a selection of their members who were willing to share their experiences.
It started out as a peripheral interest. I'd heard about Freemasonry. I knew, I suppose, what most people had heard about it. At one point, I'd been shown around a Masonic lodge on an open day, and the then master of the lodge had explained a bit more about Freemasonry. And then my partner was made a Freemason, and I learned a little bit more. But I still didn't have a complete understanding, and then suddenly one day I woke up with this idea in my head, came downstairs and said, "Is Freemasonry this, and this?" And the answer was yes. Where did you learn that? It came to me. And then from then on, it grew, and I learned more. And then I was invited to go for an interview and joined a triangle. Alongside that, I've always had a love and an interest in ancient Egypt. That stems from when I was at primary school, and the British Museum at the time had an exhibition on for Tutankhamun, and my school had us do project work about ancient Egypt and the pharaohs, and Tutankhamun in particular, and that stayed with me. And then this beautiful happenstance of there being Egyptian Freemasonry, and that was it. I was just sold.
Well, since I was a little child, I was always drawn to the mysteries in general, to ancient studies, to the ancient civilizations. So I started searching for something which I didn't know what it was, until I found a little book in a bookshop during one of my trips in Italy, which was an introduction to Freemasonry. And thanks to that book, I went to really ring to the bell of one of the Masonic houses in Rome, in Italy, and I met the master who then would initiate me. So in Freemasonry, I really found everything that I was looking for. And I was always drawn to the more esoteric part of it, as I just said. It wasn't easy to find it. I looked for it for 15 years. I looked for it in Italy, I looked for it in Europe, the Egyptian Freemasonry that I was looking for. And I finally found it in the Egyptian Masonic Order UK. As soon as I approached it, I decided, as you well know, to join immediately.
And actually, it's going to take me back quite a way, because I joined Freemasonry in 2004, so a long time ago. I was having a conversation at a gym, would you believe, with a fellow gym goer. We'd known each other for a while, and he just casually mentioned about the history of the Knights Templars, a subject which I absolutely loved. And so we started a conversation. And at the end of the conversation, he said, "Have you ever thought about joining Freemasonry?" And I must admit, at that point, I hadn't really. But I thought, when he told me a bit more about it, because I asked him to elaborate what it was about, I thought, yeah, this sounds quite interesting. So I tried it, joined a lodge, and really enjoyed it. I was a bit daunted at first, because there seemed to be a lot to take in. And then the more I got drawn into it, I read more around it. I thought, there's something missing. There's more to this. The symbolism, the wording, the history from the UGLE masonry that I'd started with seemed to be leading to something else, which made me look for what I thought I might find within other complementary orders. So I looked at joining Holy Royal Arch, which I did, and really enjoyed that. I joined the Mark, and subsequently Royal Arch Mariners, and Rose Choir. But all the while I was looking for something more, something deeper, something more esoteric, something spiritual, which I knew Freemasonry had in it, but I just couldn't find it in the orders that I had. So that's what made me look for more. And then I came across the Egyptian Masonic Order in one of my searches online, and I thought, well, this looks really interesting. So I gave that a try, and I'm really glad I did, because that has led me to what I believe was what I was looking for.
I felt the need for camaraderie and tuition, I suppose, guidance, and friendship with other like-minded souls. And I'd come to a point in my life where I thought, well, you know, I've got faith, I'm getting by, life is okay, I do believe God is in my life. So I got on the computer and had a look. So what I've done is, typed in Egyptian stuff, because I have a big calling towards that stuff in particular as well, which has grown over the last 10, 15 years, I suppose, in a more than just a wanting to know a little bit, in a quite... it seemed quite important to me to find out more about this stuff. And, we can all read a book, but as we all know, you can buy a book on Kung Fu and you're not going to become Bruce Lee. So you are better off, I believe, in many ways, being with like-minded souls and actually doing the work, walking the walk, learning the things that we need to learn. That I just thought to myself, this is all of it. This is all of the things really that I want to embark upon. Obviously, I don't know what the things are because I don't know all of the things yet. But in my experience so far, those things have been, very much coming true.
It's well structured in terms of the study. So people, the brotherhood around, it's amazing. I mean, they're very supportive. And also, I feel that, since I joined, I have really grown myself morally and spiritually.
Freemasonry is a practice which began with the medieval guilds of stonemasons and their creation of exclusive rituals and passwords to secure their labour and wage system during the construction of the great churches and cathedrals. Over time, this operative tradition of the architects and stonecutters opened its doors to the members of other vocations who became known as speculative masons. In addition to this, many elements of alchemy, Rosicrucian wisdom, Kabbalah, and Hermeticism were brought into the geometric and astrological symbolism of the rituals as a means of both preserving the ancient mysteries through the Enlightenment period and for conveying moral and philosophical truths to the members of the order.
It's the members. They bring such amazing experiences and knowledge, stories, energy, and they're great people to know, they're great people to work with.
Favourite aspects? So there's quite a few. The first thing that really drew me was the fact that even opening the lodge, which I've never seen done before, the space was cleared, and I thought, we're living in a world which is very materialistic. The experiences I'd had with Freemasonry before had been in that kind of context, and just starting off clearing the temple just seems to me to make sense. Why you've got a sacred space, why wouldn't you do that? So that really appealed to me. The fact that we're clearing it, we're setting up incense, we've got the fire, we've got the water, we've got the elements there, the earth represented as well. That really drew me. The fact that it's inclusive, so men and women. So at first I was a bit worried about that because I'd only been in lodges where there were men. But as soon as I came and visited a lodge, I realised, no, this works really well. The energies are complementary. They're not opposing. And I really liked that. The camaraderie is really good. The bonding, that I've had as well, the friendships that I've made. It's been a great experience.
The Egyptian Masonic Order UK, the EMO UK, the first thing that I've noticed is the congruency, complete congruency between what is said, what is promised, what is studied, what is done during the rituals, but also the private studies, the curriculum. So it is a proper Egyptian rite and institution of Egyptian Freemasonry. Also, it is a lovely place where to blossom. There is complete respect towards the human being as a unique individual, as it should be. Therefore, there is respect to diversity, inclusion, which are all aspects of the respect of the uniqueness of the individual being. And I believe that's the most sacred thing that there can be and must be in an initiatic and esoteric order, in order for people to really feel welcome, but also be able to blossom in their unique way through a set of keys, symbols, doors, gates, and study, which the EMO UK offers.
So the fact that it is more spiritual, the fact that I was looking for something esoteric, and that is what I found here. I've not seen that anywhere else, so I think those things make it unique. The fact that there is that great bonding, that inclusivity, the fact that we've made some great friendships. I have made some good friendships in some of my other lodges as well, but I think all those things together make it really unique.
Well, is how real the work is, how it bridges immediately from philosophical to spiritual. So that's, I think, is the most incredible thing I've ever experienced in a Masonic order. And that's my favorite, because through all the rituals we practice, the prayers and meditations and everything which is included in the curriculum for each degree, is the first time that I've been able to really bridge and bring into matter all the Masonic knowledge. Because, as I always say, before I joined the EMO UK, everything was very philosophical, intellectual. Masonry for me was at that level. So I spoke and we spoke about what we were studying, but here in the EMO UK you walk the talk. You bring the work and the craft into life. And that's amazing. That's real magic.
I was there at the very beginning. I loved the principles, the whole ethos of equity, diversity, inclusion, that men and women are sharing that space, that the energies there are equal and complementary and come together to form a beautiful whole, that we've got people from across the globe who are members, and everybody brings their uniqueness, and it just adds to everything.
It is a safe space where there is no division, any political or religious division, but any division of sort. It is a sacred initiatic order which really brings to life sacred spaces where everyone is respected and can flourish and contribute to the order and bring their own knowledge to be added up to the common knowledge, and obviously in adherence to the teachings of the order, which are universal and are incredible.
What we have is like a family. We're very close. We're very individualistic, but there's that commonality that we have that brings us all together.
There is knowledge which is almost impossible to be found on the outside. Especially as a Mason, what I love is that I finally have been able to delve deep into the real power of each degree. Because I've went through a few degrees in other obediences and right, and there was the words, but there was not the content. Here in the UK, I found the content, which opens even more doors, which goes even deeper, and which helps and allows anyone who surrenders enough to the mysteries to really experience the divine presence.
As being a woman in this lodge, there are many people that nowadays still that this kind of organizations, orders or lodges, it's all just about men, but it's not. Yes, our organization, as others as well, we are a mix of men and women, and that, make us our energy be, when we are all together, is a balanced energy. And I just encourage, men as well as women to join the lodge.
I think EMO UK actually provide you as well. I think that's something really, really unique and specific, that you can find out the same things that you may find out in Freemasonry, but in addition, you can find those spiritual aspects that anyone at some point of their lives are actually keen to explore. Everyone is quite open and honest, and you really don't care about who you are, where you are in your life. It's more about what actually are your goals as a human being, to be the best version of yourself. I think that's the thing that we have in common. So, and then, based on those kind of goals, there are a lot of tools that are presented to you, and you actually are the one that is deciding which of those tools at that moment in your life are the ones that you can leverage to try to achieve your own goals. And each of us that are in this order will be in different times, right, in their own life, using different tools, but anyone is actually aiming to the same thing, to achieve and be the best version of themselves.
Yeah, I guess as I mentioned before, I've seen other lodges, and I think this one in particular, it struck me because, even the energy around the whole lodge, I felt that it was me. The lessons, the studies, we talk about lots of philosophy, a lot of spirituality. As I mentioned, it's very structured in terms of the study. There are lots of materials and with different lessons, and there is a follow-up. There are lessons in a regular basis throughout the degrees, with some work that you have to do yourself, personal work as well, to really reach. I would say to start with the people, the members. The members are, it feels like we are all chase the same thing, but we are all kind of like, when we are all together, of course we have different lives and we come from different backgrounds. When we are together in the lodge, it feels like we are made from the same, I don't know if it's source or we are like brothers and sisters.
Most people are familiar with the United Grand Lodge of England, which practices the most famous form of Anglo-Masonry. Anglo-Masonry, or dogmatic Masonry, is a tradition which maintains gender separation in its lodges and a focus on social interaction, historical study and charitable works. However, it is not the only form of ancient Masonry. There are more progressive or adogmatic forms of Masonry, such as the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite, which shares a common root with the rites of Memphis Mizraim. There are several other forms of liberal Masonry, practiced in Europe and in other parts of the world, which pursue a variety of different studies. The EMO UK is focused on Egyptian Masonry and esoteric study, conveying their initiations through the most mystical forms of Masonic ritual available, and studying related subjects such as alchemy, theurgy, classical astrology, and hermetic science. As the recipient of many hidden keys and mysterious secrets, the EMO UK organises its vast synthesis of arcane lore into the lesser, the greater, and the supreme mysteries. Each of these levels of the mysteries is subdivided and explored by the various degrees. Each degree is unique and comprehensive with its own passwords, signs, keys, inner philosophy and symbolic structure.
you will find all the fraternal stuff that maybe you will find in other organizations, for sure. That's the default, that baseline, but actually it's not the most important thing. If you are really seeking to trying to find yourself, to trying to find those things that make you as an individual unique, I think this is the right place.
Oh, please join. I mean, of course, I wouldn't say join if you don't know, but do some research. We have a website, and there is a lot of information for you to go through. But if you're thinking about to search for something else and something that is according to our principles in EMO, I would say join, because you will really, really, really enjoy, and you will see the difference.
We take what we do seriously, but we have fun doing it. We are humanitarian. We take people for who they are. We are very approachable. We're very open and transparent. We welcome your interest. Look at the website. Trust your gut. If you feel it's right for you, then it's a good chance it is right for you.
I would say if you're already a Freemason, come along and have a look. You know, you've got nothing to lose. just come and see, and then you can decide. But I think if you haven't, trust your gut feeling. That's what I did. I reached out. I felt immediately that was the right thing for me, and I've not looked back. So I would highly recommend it. To anybody that's looking for that kind of spiritual opening, esoteric exploration. If you're interested in Hermeticism, Egyptian magic.
I love our lodge meetings. I've, as I said before, had no knowledge of Freemasonry before, or Egyptian Freemasonry. And it's just been such a wonderful process to see these things that one doesn't understand, and to be part of things that one doesn't understand, but to start to understand it and feel it and to belong. And I think that is why I've been drawn to initially this organisation. And that's not waned at all since I've started. It has grown, if anything, inside of me.
What I would say is to come, apply, ask, come and meet us, come for the interviews. If you are a Mason of another obedience, come and visit us and see how we work. But do not waste time, because opportunities like this, very rare, almost non-existent, if not for the EMO UK. So I would say carpe diem, take the chance and do it now, because there is really nothing to lose, nothing to waste. There is only an immense and powerful curriculum and set of keys to gain for your life, as I said, spiritual, intellectual, material, on all levels, because it is really a life-changing experience.
The only thing I'd like to say to somebody who's listening really is that so far I have not in any way been let down with what we can learn here and the knowledge that's on offer, the friendship, camaraderie. I also think there's a large amount of fate. That the time that I was ready to ask the questions, there was this wonderful organisation that I'm now a member of, very proud member of. I would say if your interests are in this direction, that this is the place to be. You will not be disappointed in any way, shape or form. If the esoteric is what it is that tickles your fancy, this is the place to be.